What's up, everybody? I'm here to do another EXP testimonial with not only just a new real estate agent with EXP, but also one of our team partners as well. And I really want to break down for you guys, especially the thought process with not only why so many people are coming over to EXP and they're making that jump from other brokerages, but hey, a lot of new agents are doing the same. So without further ado, we have out of Redding, California, who's now in Columbia, South Carolina, we have Preston Eversole. Say hello to everybody, Preston.
How's it going? How's everybody there?
Cool, man. So I'm really curious because I know how hard it is. I remember looking at 7 different brokerages. I sat with anyone, everyone I possibly could, and they've shared with me, we can give you leads, and we can give you training, and we can give you support, and we can love on you, and it all just kind of started running together and sounding the same. It's hard, especially when you're not in this confusing business. How break it down? Just kind of give us an overview. Like how did you start out in that process and your decision-making process?
It was kind of the same thing. I went around to different brokerages after I'd gotten my license started and everything. I was trying to figure out where do I want to go with this, and I kind of saw what some other people had to offer. A lot of it was more old school. Everything's in an office. You got to go into their office, get any resources, do anything like that. One of the things that I liked about EXP is the mobile nature of it. The fact that if I'm at my home, wanting to work out of an office at home, I can work out of an office at home. If I'm coming into the office at our team or whatnot, I can work from there. If I need information, resources, documents, everything's online and available to me. And if I do need those physical locations, they're available too. But the fact that it was a lot more of a modern facing company, I know that my expenses and the costs of being part of the brokerage were actually going to things that make a difference to me, not a fancy building. We have a really fancy virtual building in the
Yeah,
world.
yeah, we do.
Um, there it was a lot of it was the more modern approach to real estate of EXP.
That's cool, man. And I know you as a pretty tech savvy kind of guy, like you're more than the average human being, I would say. And is in your experience, I mean, even for people that may not be that tech savvy, is the technology that EXP has to you, is it really that complicated? Do you need to have a coding background or any of that stuff?
No, and I mean on some things I'm pretty tech savvy. There's some things that I'm not necessarily, but it really doesn't matter with EXP. I mean, as long as you can do basic computer functions, which we all can at this point because you kind of have to function. You can do pretty much anything, and if you can play a video game, you can go to your broker on the online forums like the World or whatnot, because that's basically what you're doing. You're walking around
Yeah.
in your little avatar. You can find if you had a question for let's say your broker in charge, you can go right to their office,
Yeah.
your virtual office, rather than have to go to a physical location or wait in line. And there's
Yes.
so many options on that. You can it's really simple and intuitive to figure it out.
Cool. And I always tell people I still have my broker's phone number and email,
Yeah.
like, which is most of the time anyway, when you're trying to solve problems. So that's really key. One of the things I've really liked. So cool. Talk to me about, I don't want to blow anybody apart and shoot anybody down, but talk to me about I want to go back a little bit on that decision-making process. Where did you actually go and what did you start looking at first? You're thinking, all right, I know I need this support. And before you knew anything, what were you, where was your mind geared on what you thought you wanted?
Well, yeah. So, like I knew I didn't know what I didn't know. So coming into it, obviously, I'm just walking and trying to figure things out. So some of the brokerages I was going into, without specifically mentioning names, I'd go into and they'd be like, "Well, we're nuts and bolts. We have a lot of older agents that just want to hang their license somewhere," and they'd be like, "Well, it'll be really cheap because we don't have these things available, and you don't really need those." But I'm thinking, well, I kind of do need those things, and um, the price difference really wasn't that much lower when you actually look at it. Because at first they'll say, "Oh, we only charge this really low percentage." Okay, and then there's this mandatory fee. There's this mandatory fee, and once I started looking at it, I was like, "Well, I'd rather have something that has all these options and the wealth of knowledge that comes with EXP
Mhm.
through all of your different extra features and stuff. I really
Yeah.
saw that as an advantage. And some of then I went to a few that were more geared towards being an assembly line, just getting people in and out, in and out, in and out, and cycling through agents. And I could kind of get that feel. And to me, I would rather go somewhere where I felt like I could actually be part of a team, be part of something that was growing. Um, and I saw the growth at EXP, where some brokerages seem like they're more stagnant. I saw growth here. And when you see that growth, there's got to be some reason that other people are going with it. So
Cool.
that's part of what my thought process was in it.
Yeah, and it's all a risk, right? So how's it actually been? You've been here for coming up on a year almost.
Mhm.
So how has it been with EXP? Like, has it been what you thought it was?
Well, with anything, there's going to be some, growth and, learning and figuring things out. But for the most part, yeah, everything I've gotten from EXP has been pretty straightforward. They lay it out pretty easily for you, and you have so many options and I guess you'd say available places to go for information. So if I want to look at, how many the deals that I'm doing, or things that are available to me, or the paperwork I need, or what things I need to be successful, it's really made it easy to do all those things.
What would you say to someone? Because obviously, you found success here, and I want to break that down a little bit here in a minute. But what would you say to someone who's new that says, that's actually the number one thing that I hear a lot of other brokers say, when obviously we're all biased and we all love where we're at, right? And no one wants to change, and I totally get that and respect that. Um, but it's hard to swallow sometimes, where I hear some of the lies that I hear other brokers might tell people. And they tell people, like, if you're a new agent, you definitely don't want to go to EXP, right? What would you say to something like that?
I would say if you're new, you definitely do want to go to EXP, because with EXP, the simple fact of the training and the available resources, and the fact that you can get FaceTime with somebody from your brokerage office if you need. You can get FaceTime with it, or even your portals. Let's say, hey, you miss paperwork on something like that. You're not having to wait for um, this for one person. There's multiple people that are helping along the process, and they can say, hey, you're missing this form, that form, the other form. We need, and they can break it down to you, and you can actually have a portal where you can visually look at it with them rather than having to go in somewhere for every little thing. And as a new person, you're not going to know what you don't know. And having an available way to figure that out, that's just laid out for you in the way that EXP is,
Mm.
makes it a lot easier.
Yeah, absolutely, man. But that's cool. So I want to break down your success, man. You came in here on our team here locally and partnered with us at EXP, and you just did the work, man. You're just one of those guys that came in, and one of our core values is to crush it, and you just started crushing it from the very beginning. It took some time, but once things started going, it was that gradually then suddenly thing. So I think maybe the best thing to do is break down for someone new that's looking wherever they hang their license, break down what they should really be thinking about as they're generating their business. What are some things you mentioned this before? Tell me this. You said that I was looking over here when I was going to join your team, and then when you started helping me out, you made me look over here. Tell me a little bit about that. What exactly did that look like?
Well, so you got to see where you're as far as production goes. You got to really see where you're going to get those sales and signings from. So
Yeah.
at first, I was thinking, okay, well, I just need to focus just on that one thing. This must be it. And then it's more about building that pipeline, because that's what's going to continue to get your business. Yeah, you can get some quick 5-second business, and that's great for right now. But you've got to have that consistent business to
Yeah.
where you're continually signing people. Otherwise, you're going to ride the roller coaster that I'm sure anybody who watches your videos or has seen it has heard about that roller coaster. And
Yeah.
I mean, being new, I saw that a little bit, but I was able to go, oh, okay, maybe I need to make these, do this, and we all have things that are going to throw us off at times, and we're going to get, oh, Sarah over here, and then But staying on that steady path is probably the most important thing for a new agent, and just sticking with it until you finally get that build up a pipeline to where you're just staying looking at, don't get distracted by everything else. Stay on that and keep filling that pipeline, because eventually it's going to pay off. Eventually you're going to have all
Yeah.
those calls that are, oh, hey, they told me to call them back in 6 months. 9 times out of 10, maybe it's going to be nothing. In 6 months, you're going to get it another 6 months. But that one time, that's one deal. So that's the one person that signed with you. So now you got one.
Yep.
And the more of those you stack on top of each other, the more uh, balls you put on the field, the more chance one of them is going to move forward. So,
Yeah, that's good stuff, man. So, yeah, I love that about the pipeline and the roller coaster. I think a lot of people they think about. I always describe it as the business cards and the website, and everything has to be perfect, and I need to know everything first. And we just like put you guys out there. It's like, no, we'll do all that stuff for you. Like, go talk to people as fast as
mm-hmm.
humanly possible, and don't stop. Right.
Mm-hmm.
So that's good stuff, man. So tell me, what's been some other contributors to your success, man? You're obviously doing really well. There was a buildup of that, but all of a sudden things started popping. So break down, what are some other things somebody new would want to know, or someone that maybe is a little more seasoned and not consistent. So break down some things that have contributed to where you've seen success.
I would say part of it is surrounding yourself with a team that can help you get those goals, whether that be your brokerage that you choose, or if you're actually going to join a team. Making sure you have people in places where, yeah, you don't have to worry about your back office stuff, or you don't have to worry about this thing or that thing. Because the more things that spread your focus, that's just less business you're getting in the end. If you can kind of reduce some of those things down to where you're just focused on the business, on getting the deals, getting them signed, getting if it's whether it be a buyer or a seller, finding that house or getting that house listed. Just focus on, if you can focus on your part and have surround yourself with either people that can help you with the other parts, or even surround yourself with people that are doing the business, so that
Yeah.
you can see what it looks like to succeed and continue to move forward.
Yeah. And you get to learn actually not only just from your team, but you get to learn from a lot of people, right? So talk to us about that. I mean, I'm sure you've paid attention to some of the partners that you have. Share with us, has that been part of your success, or how much, and what parts have you leveraged, or are you paying attention to maybe now more? Like break down some of that, right? You're not limited to just one shop, right?
No, so there's different places to get resources. Here locally, we got the re-up where you can connect and network with people. Go out there and into the community and go find people who are doing real estate or have something going on with real estate, and that's just more places to find deals. Because if you connect with those people, you might connect with a couple of clients that they're going to do 4 or 5 transactions in their whole life, which is that's quite a bit of moving for a lot of people. But now if you connect with somebody who's like an investor, or people who are into like they have holdings of real estate, and you can find one person that might all of a sudden you find out have 5 properties, and they're getting to that point in their life where they want to offload them. Well, getting to know those people and being in that space
Yeah.
kind of will help you.
Cool, man. What's your favorite thing about EXP?
Oh, so far probably the mobile nature of it, the online, the fact that it can pivot in so many different ways. If I want to, I can call someone, or I can get online. I have a multitude of resources available to me in a bunch of different forms. Whatever form I want to see that resource in,
Hmm.
it normally exists in EXP from what I've seen.
Cool. If I'm a new agent and I have no clue, and I just passed my test and I need to hang my license, what's the one thing that you would recommend someone to look at, whether they hang with EXP or not, but it's just to help someone new focus on how do I decide? How do I decide? Where do I start? What's the a piece of advice you give someone trying to look for a brokerage?
Um, there's a couple different factors that I really look at personally. One of the big things is this a large enough place where you're going to be able to grow at, and somewhere, because you can go to some of those smaller brokerages, and you're not going to be set up for large scale growth necessarily. I mean, if that's what you're looking for, that might be what you're looking for. But if you're looking for somewhere where you can actually hit the ground running, be working with a lot of other agents, where if you need referrals, or maybe you're going to find a referral partner where you want to refer something out, EXP is going to have somebody all over the country. So let's say you call that client, they're like, oh no, I'm actually not looking for a house here. I'm moving to Oregon or something. Well, with EXP, you're going to get online, go onto one of the forums, find someone in Oregon, refer that out. You make cash that way. If you're looking for whatever you're looking for, you can find on EXP, and that kind of is one of the draws to it to me, is that you're not going to be limited on your resources. And if there's something that's not available, or that you don't think is available, most likely, if you look for it, you're going to find it on there. So there's things that I still find on there. I mean, I don't know many brokerages where if you want to, you can go play basketball virtually. They literally have a resource for everything. That's right. And you can, and it helps you with your clients too, to be like, hey, where are some places you might go do this? Do you want to do a virtual meeting? Because you still have people. I mean, for most of us, COVID's basically over, but there's still going to be those clients out there that it's not over for, and that they want to do a virtual meeting. Well, you want to go into a virtual meeting room? That might be something neat for them. And you can see all those little added benefits with EXP. And I'd say that's what you want to look for. Look for a brokerage that's going to have the most, give you the most bang for your buck.
Cool. Give us, what if I wanted to duplicate your success, with your deals? Now, you were over here and then you were over here. Once you kind of figured out the game of like what we needed to do, what's that number one top piece of advice? If I am new and I'm trying to get my business going, what would you tell a new guy?
Talk to people. The more contacts you make, the more chances you have. And talk to the right people too. So try and find yourself good contact information, but you gotta call people. You gotta talk to people. You gotta put yourself out there, because you're not. I mean, all of us would love that deal that just comes along and somebody's floats over to us, but you got to go find it.
Yeah, there's a cash buyer in town today and tomorrow. They just got to town, but you ain't ever going to find them unless you're talking to people.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Put your name out there. You hand out business cards, make phone calls, whatever you got to do. Just you got to put yourself out there to be seen. If you're not seen, you don't. Closed mouth doesn't get fed.
Yeah, we don't want to be the secret agent. That's for sure. Yeah. We want to tell people we're in business. Well, cool, man. Anything else before we sign off that you want to share with the group about EXP or duplicating early success?
I would just say, if somebody's interested in EXP, go online. You can go look at, there's a bunch of videos, recruitment videos that kind of give you some of the ins and outs of the business that, I'm not an expert in, but go out there and look at those resources. There's some things out there that might surprise people about, different ways of making money with EXP, because it's not just selling real estate. It's, there's a million different ways to make money. I mean, yeah, of course, your backbone should be selling real estate, but there's other ways to make money with it, especially as you advance in your business. And in real estate, I just say, the number one thing is just go out and talk to people. You can't hide in a bubble and make it a success.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Well, cool. If anybody wants to talk to Preston more about EXP or real estate, how would they get a hold of you, Preston?
They can email me at preston@thebarnhillteam.com. Would probably be the best way to reach out to me.
Preston@barnhillteam.com.
Yeah. Oh, no, sorry. I said the Barnhill Team. Just Preston@barnhillteam.com. Yeah.
Yeah. Preston@barnhillteam.com. You can reach out to Preston. There's specific benefits if you want to partner with us. And Preston at EXP, we can plug you into the same resources. So I appreciate everybody tuning in. Preston, I appreciate your time, and I appreciate you just doing the work, man. I love it when we got people that just show up. So it's refreshing, and I appreciate you. So,
hey, I appreciate all the help you've given me.
Yeah, man, no worries. And we ain't done, man. We just getting started. So I appreciate you. Thanks for your time. Thanks for everybody that was tuning in today. And we will see you guys on the next video. Peace out.